today on Positive Spin. On today's program, we view the Pomeletto film for International Women's Day. And we'll see the 61 women who changed the world. After that, we'll learn why 2018 was a year when women fought back, and we'll witness how Indigenous women are standing up to defend their native land. And we'll speak with the founder of the Drawing Room, an innovative community art gallery in San Francisco. Finally, we'll experience the anthem, Women of the World, Unite.
Why?
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 Perché?
Pourquoi?
Perché?
Perché?
Why?
Why?
Within a patriarchal structure, men are taught from very, very, very early on that real men don't cry. They get this so early that for them it's the way things are. This is the way they're supposed to be.
Je crois que si un jour on autorise vraiment nos fils à pleurer, peut-être qu'ils auront une autre vision du monde.
Being a man or prove your masculinity has nothing to do with violence.
Men aren't born wanting to commit violence against women.
It is not in our nature.
It is a behavior.
Non può mai essere una scusa il fatto che l'uomo è violento di natura.
The statistics are alarming.
1 in every 3 women have experienced some form of violence.
Una ogni 3.
1 in every 3.
Children who grow up with violence are more likely to become violent.
Or to experience violence later in life.
Violence against women has ripple effects throughout society.
It affects all of us.
Remaining silent is not an option.
Il silenzio non è un'opzione.
Violence against women is a man's problem.
It's also a problem when we don't exercise our rights, when we don't speak up.
Violence against women is a crime. Our voice is essential for a real change.
Our actions.
It starts with how we educate our boys and girls.
But our boys...
We struggle with being able to experience and understand our own emotions, never mind express them to others.
From the time they're little, we have to teach them it's okay. They have to become emotionally literate.
From little kids trying to understand the importance that violence is not an answer.
È una lotta che ci deve coinvolgere tutti. We need to ensure that we are not letting the women fight this battle alone.
Men need to check other men.
Be vigilant, speak, act, and be a social sentinel.
Be a social sentinel.
Dobbiamo essere sentinelle sociali.
Be a social sentinel.
Violence against women doesn't stop at a trial.
It doesn't end with a sentence or in jail.
It stops in our heads.
In our hearts.
Ci arriveremo soltanto quando ci metteremo tutti al lavoro insieme.
Ending violence against women isn't a dream.
It's our duty.
It is our duty.
It is our future.
È il nostro futuro.
Happy International Women's Day.
Pomeletto, caring for women since 1967.
So I'm hyperventilating a little bit. If I fall over, pick me up because I've got some things to say.
For too long, women have not been heard or believed.
You told the world that time's up on violence.
1 out of every 5 women will be sexually assaulted and raped before she reaches the age of 18.
It's 2018 and I've realized that nobody is safe long as she is alive. And every friend that I know has a story like mine.
I am here because I believe it is my civic duty to tell you what happened to me while Brett Kavanaugh and I were in high school.
Larry, you do realize now that we, this group of women you so heartlessly abused over such a long period of time, are now a force and you are nothing.
Here are the names of the women who died since International Women's Day last year.
The basic and fundamental human right of being able to participate in the choices for your future and that of your community. The involvement and voice that allows you to be a part of the very world that you are a part of.
I know exactly who I am. I'm the doctor.
If I may be so honored to have all the female nominees in every category stand with me in this room tonight. The actors, Meryl, if you do it, everybody else will, come on. The filmmakers, the producers, the directors, the writers, the cinematographer, the composers, the songwriters, the designers.
At some point in that 15-minute window, took a picture up my skirt with their phone, and that's when I started looking into the law, realised there was a big grey area in the law and started my campaign.
So in supporting this proposal, every member can send a message that in 2018, all the women of the UK deserve to be treated as equal citizens.
This has been an uphill battle, pushing a boulder up a hill over decades.
I just got word that the House historian confirms you have now set the record for the longest continuous speech in the House since at least 1909.
I am aware of all the women who are still in silence.
Me Too must become We Too. We are all in this together.
A new day is on the horizon. And when that new day finally dawns, it will be because of a lot of magnificent women, many of whom are right here in this room tonight, and some pretty phenomenal men fighting hard to make sure that they become the leaders who take us to the time when nobody ever has to say, "Me too," again. Thank you.
The way that Wet'suwet'en people have been treated by government and industry is setting a precedent and how Indigenous people and how human rights will be violated in the future. I come from the Gidimt'en clan. I hold the name in the Cassia House, which is the grizzly bear house of the Wet'suwet'en Nation. We've been defending the territory against the Coastal GasLink pipeline, which is the biggest mega project in Canadian history and would have devastating effects for the climate around the world. All 5 clans of the Wet'suwet'en Nation have opposed the construction of any pipeline through our territory, including the Coastal GasLink pipeline. We're trying to protect our sacred headwaters, Wet'suwet'en, for future generations. For thousands of years, our people have lived this way, and we want our children to be able to have these things in the future. This project violates our right to our lands, our Indigenous rights, and our human rights because of all of the police violence that has occurred to push this pipeline through. Our people have been harassed, intimidated over the last several years. Our chiefs and our elders have been arrested, sentenced to jail time. I'm still waiting for sentencing for protecting my own territory and upholding Indigenous rights. We have to stand up to the atrocities that are happening to Indigenous people in so-called Canada.
While covering an event in San Francisco, Positive Spin discovered the drawing room and interviewed the founder and staff of this very innovative community art gallery.
My name is Julian Steinbach. I'm a musician, artist, guitarist, and event coordinator of all kinds. My initial involvement was just from Leanne, who helps to run some sketchboard figure drawing sessions out in another space that I work in. And essentially, I came in, I met Renee, I saw the genius, amazing art that's going on here, and I wanted to add in whatever I could. Every week, every Friday, I've been coming in, bringing back line. We've been using our tip money to try to provide for the space and bring in some drums and things like that, just to make sure that everything's able to come together fully and summon in everyone off the street who doesn't know about this amazing place. So, yeah.
So I started working at the drawing room with Renee because one day I was walking by and I thought it was such a beautiful space, and I was also looking for a job and career path in art. I really love connecting people. It's one of my favorite things to do. It doesn't feel like a job for me, where if I see someone that wants to become a musician or like wants to have that experience, then I'm like more than happy to be like, then come play. All right, my name is Leanne Morales and I am a part of the Drawing Room. It's a nonprofit organization in the city. And what my role is that I organize and run the communal table event that happens every Friday.
I've been working in this city for 20 years as an artist, and I eventually had to find a studio space. And I was way out in the far reaches of the city. To get there, it was just so hard, and you're in like this quiet building and there's no one around, and artists are complaining about not having community and not seeing anyone. And I thought, everyone is so curious about the artist studio. I was thinking how incredible it would be to bring the making process into a public venue, creating a space where people could stumble and fall into art and have a unique experience with it, maybe even meet the artists themselves. So I built the idea of the drawing room around accessibility. My name is Renee DiCarlo. I am an artist and the founder of the Drawing Room, located in San Francisco, California. The Drawing Room is an art studio and a gallery space founded in 2018 on 23rd and Cap Streets to create exposure for studio practice and to bring artists in the local Bay Area to the same space. With our first location on 23rd Street, we were able to activate a space that had been empty for years. In that space, the Drawing Room grew and redefined its purpose. We had 11 shows in the 3 years we were there and had hundreds of people pass through the space. It came time to renew my lease on 23rd Street and my rent went up. The property managers, they asked how they could help me, and they gave me the space at 780 Valencia. We had this beautiful exhibition called The Tides of Change. And that exhibition of about 70 artists brought life back into this space in a way we did not expect. We've been able to host these open calls for art that are all-inclusive, where we can take everyone who submits their work, allowing us to get a nice cross-section of what's happening in the city and in the Bay Area. Following Tides of Change, we had Women Rising Again, which was actually my third women's show. Women Rising here, we had close to 250 women artists from the Bay Area, which is insane. I mean, it's like amazing. And I learned that that actually is really the only way the Drawing Room can survive, is to have bigger spaces, to have more artists, and be able to sell lots of art to lots of different types of people. Because we represent artists who are not famous yet. They're still growing and establishing themselves. 210 Clement. It's a smaller, more intimate gallery. We're working to help organize an art walk on Clement Street and help foster that sense of connection and community in a different neighborhood. The location on Valencia Street transformed the drawing room in ways that go beyond just exhibiting art. We became partners with San Francisco Unified School District during COVID to foster a space for high school students to gain work experience, but also to be surrounded by art, the making of art and the sharing of art, and everything that that entails and brings with it. We have live music every Friday, Saturday nights. We work with Artist Migration to host musicians such as the Golden Gate Symphony and Orchestra, where they filled this whole entire gallery with 50-piece orchestra. I imagine becoming a cultural center where we can host events for organizations. If we could leverage that between every show, that would be really amazing, and it would give exposure in another way to organizations that are using art and artists to help raise awareness for really important things. We don't expect people to pay money when they come in. We want to give people a free and accessible art experience. I think bringing art back into the centers of the city is really important. It's hard to know that artists are actually still here making art if you don't ever see them. We're all kind of tucked away in spaces that are not accessible. And I think that San Francisco is struggling really deeply right now with how to bring life back into certain areas. I think if we put art back in the center and we nurture the soul of the city, I think good things can come from that. We've represented over 1,400 artists. For me, it's super exciting to be able to create exhibitions like this, to be able to connect with so many artists, to work with curators like Courtney Norris, who has elevated this to another level. I want to keep doing that because that gives me purpose, because it's creating purpose for other people too. I'm the founder of the Drawing Room, and I believe in the power of connecting people with people. I think if we get to touch and see each other more, magic can happen.
There's a secret remedy hiding underneath the tree, in the seed from which we came together. Women of the world unite, cast aside for centuries, bound in chains of slavery, waiting for the roots to come together. Women of the world unite, for the sake of humanity, unite, in the name of integrity, unite, to retrieve our felicity, unite, and all of our diversity, unite, use your gift with wisdom, unite, for the future of our children, unite, to protect our planet, unite, if you wish to live in peace, unite, with your ancient wisdom, unite, with your natural rhythm, unite, with the light you have hidden, a new way of style, elevate your power, like a beautiful flower, breathe the love that brings us all together. Women of the world unite. Now the seed begin to sprout. Women of the world we shout. Raise tree of life. Hug the darkness with our light. We can heal our pain when we're together.
Women of the world unite.
Calling all our sisters and magnificent brothers, each and every mother and courageous daughter. In the darkest hours, liberate your powers. Give a voice to sanity. Celebrate humanity. Unite with our ancient wisdom, with our natural rhythm, with the life we have given. Elevate your power like a beautiful flower. Breathe the love that brings us all together.
Women of the world unite.
Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, 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 hey ya. With the flowers, with the leaves, with the spiders, the birds and the bees, with the mountains, with the sea, with the valleys and roots of the trees, with our passion, with our wounds, with the sun and the earth and the moon, with the living, with the dead, with the stars, with the mother of our mothers who gave birth to it all. From her soul, from her body, from her blood, from the depth of the pain to infinity has a key that brings us to the garden of our ancient wisdom and our natural rhythm. With the light you have hidden, elevate your power like a beautiful flower. Breathe the love that brings us all together. With our ancient wisdom and our natural rhythm, with the light we have given, elevate your power like a beautiful flower. Breathe the love that brings us all together.
Women of the world unite.
Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya.
What peace means to me is when we see one another. And I think when we see one another, we think twice about how we treat each other. And I don't know, that's how I walk through the world. That's how I want my children to walk through the world. I'm the founder of the Drawing Room, and I believe in the power of connecting people with people. I think if we get to touch and see each other more, magic can happen.
Hi, my name is Leanne Morales, and I am a part of the Drawing Room. It's a nonprofit organization in the city. And what my role is that I organize and run the communal table event that happens every Friday. And for peace, for me, I believe it's when people are able to be in a space to share love and connection with others and treat each other with respect and be able to understand each other. And sometimes that's difficult, and I think that's why there's a lot of turmoil and, wars and genocide that's happening right now. And I think if we're all able to understand each other's pain and be willing to go there and fix it and be there to support others is what I really believe peace is, because you cannot have that,
My name is Julian Steinbach. I'm a musician, artist, guitarist, and event coordinator of all kinds. For me, peace is that everyone understands the truth of things. And when we get down to that truth, that's when we're able to have peace.
So my name is Bernardo, and what does peace mean to me? Peace would be tranquility, be a place of home, be somewhere I feel comfortable and open to be myself. That's what peace means to me.
Thank you for watching Positive Spin. This show is made possible through the generosity of the Patty and Jack Wright Foundation and the Prem Rawat Foundation. Watch us on Free Speech TV. Watch and subscribe to our previous episodes on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and our other online platforms. I'm Bill McCarthy. Stay safe and healthy, and remember, everyone can create their own positive news.